Okay, so we got a question on the types of PT that you'll do when you're at boot camp. This is from a video that I put on the members only portion of my channel, where I did a demonstration of the Bring Sally Up push-up challenge. If you want to see me make my attempt at that, you gotta jump on the membership. But I did get a comment on that video asking if the Bring Sally Up challenge is a type of workout that you will do at boot camp. And so I wanted to do a video kind of expanding on that question and answer. So we're just going to go through some of the different workouts that I remember doing when I went through, and not just what those workouts are, but kind of how they would be done in boot camp, because it's a very specific way that you do it. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the basics first. Okay, so the big one is push-ups, and I did do a short video before on the way to train for push-ups for boot camp, so I won't go too much into detail on that, but we're just going to kind of go through a couple for example here. So with push-ups with boot camp, you do them in the position of attention. So you essentially have your ankles together like a 90 degree like that. So it's kind of hard to see there, but basically you're kind of emulating the position of attention with your push-ups. And as I said in the short video before, like, you can practice just doing a whole bunch of push-ups, which is great. I mean, it's good to be able to just do a bunch of them, but it's not always about speed, unless you're doing PT testing, which is you got to do a certain amount in a minute. So there, you want to go fast. But in IT, you'll oftentimes be like, they'll say down, up, and then they'll say like halfway down, like here, and you'll just be like this for a while. And this can get uncomfortable after a little while. And so then you'll go down all the way, you'll hold it there, and then you'll go back up, and then you'll go up, and then sometimes you'll go like, they'll go like, down, up, down, up, down, and then they'll hold it for a while like this. You're like, okay, when are we gonna keep going, right? And then it's like up, down, and then you hold again for a while. It's like up, down, up, down. So really, it's just about muscle confusion when you're training. Try to do whatever's uncomfortable and do it a lot until it's not quite as uncomfortable. So just a series of fast push-ups, slow push-ups, and holds. And that's where the Bring Sally Up challenge is good for that. Okay, now the other workout that you'll do on the floor a lot is crunches. I'm not gonna humiliate myself and try to do a bunch of crunches right now. You know what crunches are. The same principles that I applied to push-ups also apply to crunches. So being able to do them fast, holding them in awkward positions, same idea. The next one we'll talk about really quick is the squats. Essentially, it's just your run-of-the-mill squat, right? So you're standing, feet are about shoulder width apart, and it's just down and then back up, and then down and back up. Again, the same principle applies with push-ups, with crunches. Sometimes it's going to be really fast, but then sometimes it's going to be slow and holds and awkward holds. And like with many things, a lot of things are pretty easy until you have to do them a whole bunch of times, or hold it for a really long time. So same principle there. All right, so getting off the kind of conventional push-ups, crunches, rowers, squats, things like that. A couple of the non-conventional types of PT or IT that you might do at Cape May. The first one, we're going to start with just a water bottle. And now this gets into that whole principle again of like, anything is hard if you're doing it long enough. So we would sometimes just hold the water bottle over our head, right? Maybe with 2 arms, maybe just with one, you know, just hold it over our head for just a really long time. And then they might make you chug it. This is not, there's no water in here, but they'll make you chug it, and then they'll give you like 15 seconds, and then they'll tell you to invert, and you'll like dump it, and if you haven't drank all the water, then you're going to splash water all over yourself. I don't know exactly what the point of that is, other than just to work you out hard and get you hydrated and punish you if you don't hydrate yourself all the way, because then you got to clean up the mess and you got to go refill your water. Well, you have to do that anyway. But anyway, so you can do all kinds of stuff with a water bottle, even a piece of paper. There were times when we would literally just be holding a piece of paper in front of us like this for a really long time, and I mean, flicking your ear like this for 20 minutes would start to get pretty hard. So there's really, it can be the most mundane, seemingly minuscule things can become very difficult if you have to do them for long enough. All right, so for the last thing we're going to talk about here, the funnest part of IT at boot camp was working with what we called our piece. At the time when I went through, it was the M1, but this was 20 years ago now. I don't actually know if they still use the M1, but this is a 22. This is my grandfather's 22. It's not loaded or anything, hasn't been used in a very, very long time. So we're safe. And it's not a perfect replication because it doesn't have the hand guard right here that the M1 had, which was really good for some of the PT I'm about to show you. But for demo purposes, this will work. It's about the same weight and size. So with our piece, now I'm not going to go into the close order drill things that we learned. That's a separate topic for somebody who's more recently been through boot camp. But just for the PT, IT purposes of it, some of the things we would do would just be sort of the natural holds with the rifle. So a lot of it would just be like holding it out like this, you know, and then it's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. And now you're obviously going to be sounding off when you do this, not saying it quietly like I am, but just doing it for demo purposes. And again, same principle, you might hold it like this for a really long time. This can get really uncomfortable after a little while. Same with this, you can get really uncomfortable after a little while. And then the other big one that I remember, and this is where having the hand guard was good with the M1. We don't have one here, so we're just gonna kind of do our best to sort of hold on to this thing here. So you kind of hold it like this, and then it's just a slap 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. This one especially is a great torture mechanism of working out because it's really a double-edged sword. If you go slow, you are struggling because the time it takes you to slap your hand back, the other hand's got to hold the whole thing up by itself, steady, because you don't want to go like this with the CC watching. That's a whole world of hurt right there. But if you go fast, it's also really hard to go fast because it's heavy and it's hard to do things fast. So the great thing about the rifle workouts, there's literally no easy way to do it. There's no way to like cheat and like not do it properly in a way that doesn't hurt. So anyway, those are some of the more common types of IT that I remember going through when I was in basic. As I said, it's been a little while since I've been through. So anybody who's recently been through, feel free to chime in the comments with the types of things that you remember from boot camp. But hopefully that kind of helps a little bit just to illustrate some of the things that you will be looking at. So you can practice, you know, you don't have to have a 22 at home. You can get like a broom, or if you have a shovel, might work good because it'll be heavier to kind of practice those movements like that. But the key at the end of the day, as I said with the push-ups, it's just about being uncomfortable, doing things to failure basically, and not necessarily trying to be really fast, but trying to be efficient and strong, and kind of keeping everything in that core and holding steady. And you know, it's a great metaphor for life as well. You don't necessarily have to do things as fast as possible, but being able to be steady, being able to stay in there, and you know, keep fighting and hold strong. You know, that's what we can do, and that's all we can really do at the end of the day. So anyway, hope that helps everybody, and I'll catch up with you guys again soon.